We've known for quite some time now that childhood trauma has a massive impact on our health as we move through the rest of our lives, and it increases the risk of all different kinds of health conditions from happening. Obviously, the ones I see most in my clinic are gynae issues and those relating to menopause in particular. And there's lots of different reasons why this can happen, but one thing is that as you move through adolescence, the hormone changes actually affect the way that the brain works, and it will file away all of that childhood trauma quite deep in the subconscious mind, because you will soon be having to take on adult responsibility. So you might be paying a mortgage and rent, or holding down a job, or building a career, and you may even be raising a family, and you haven't got time for all that trauma to be playing in the background. So it files it away neatly for you so that you can get on with adult life. That's all very good until you reach perimenopause, where the same hormone changes happen but in reverse. So you've packed away your trauma in adolescence and it unpacks itself in perimenopause. And this is why very often women can get very extreme anger, irritability, anxiety, depression, insomnia, mood swings. All of these can happen, but they can be very, very severe. And even PMDD as well, which is like very extreme premenstrual syndrome. But the symptoms are much harder to manage and live with, and women can actually become suicidal at certain points during the month. So it's pretty serious. The issue is that the woman is not consciously aware that this is what's going on. So she's saying things like, I don't know why this is happening. I'm not an anxious person. I'm not an angry person. I've never been like this before. And I don't know how I can be, fine 1 minute and then off the scale the next. And often this is what's going on in the background. So there are a number of things we can do to help in this kind of situation. It's not always about balancing hormones, because the hormones are not supposed to be in balance as such in perimenopause. They're supposed to be having a bit of a wild time, because that's the whole point of perimenopause. But it doesn't always have to be quite so wild, and we can do a lot with herbs just to kind of gently smooth out and calm down those fluctuations so that they still happen, but in a much gentler kind of way. We can use herbs like nervines, which have a nice calming effect on the nervous system, and adaptogens, which you've probably heard of. They have more of a kind of general effect, so that basically what adaptogens do is they work on the adrenal glands and calm down the amount of stress hormones that you're needing to get through the day. They help you out of your stress response, even if stressful stuff is still going on in your life. So they work really nicely alongside the nervines. But to me, the real key is starting to explore that trauma in a very gentle, manageable way and process it for good. And actually the traditional, one of the traditional ways of looking at menopause was that it's a consolidation of everything that's gone on in that woman's life up to that point in time, where she takes it and uses it to, if you like, kind of become a bit more powerful and a bit more badass and move into her third phase of life as an elder, where she would traditionally have been very highly respected and highly revered for all that life experience and wisdom that she's gained over the years. Part of that is dealing with the skeletons in your cupboard, and we've all got them to some extent or another. So if you have been affected by major childhood trauma, it's not necessarily the case that you have to go in and relive all of that and dig it up and go through it all again, because there are therapies available where you don't have to do that, or you do it in a very gentle, controlled way. So my preferred option is obviously hypnotherapy. I find it really brilliant, and it again can be done in a way where you don't have to go and relive all that. EMDR is another really good option. Particularly if you find a very competent therapist. It's very effective, and it's basically, someone described it like you're being broken down and rebuilt in a better way, and I've had it myself. I'd say that's exactly what it's like. Some people find talking therapies really helpful. That can take a very long time, but if that's your thing, that's fine. And there are other techniques as well, like EFT, emotional freedom technique. So, there's a lot of different options available. But to me, it's about being truly holistic, and we can use the herbs to work more on the physical level, but we will always need something to work on that psycho-emotional level as well. And often it can be a life's work. You'll do a little bit on that front and then you'll leave it for a while, and then at some point in the future you might feel the need to come back and do a little bit more, and that's all fine. But this is part of what happens, particularly as we reach perimenopause, and it's just worth being aware that that's what might be going on if you're getting particularly extreme symptoms. So I hope you found that helpful. I would be really grateful if you could like and share this, because I'm sure there's other people out there who need to hear it. I'm Hannah from Herbology, and I will see you again soon. Bye.